All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to do part 2 of the 392 front differential rebuild. Just a quick little recap. I've been really busy and I've been doing a bunch of projects. I'm going to walk you through that real quick. So here you can see the new diff, not the new diff, but these are the new bearings. And then let me see if I can get you the part number. And of course, this gimbal camera's gimbling. So those two part numbers are for the races and the roller bearings. Those were unobtainium to get. It took about almost 3 weeks to get. I had to order them from Timken, and I'm local to Kansas, and the only place they had them was in South Carolina, and they said they were going to ship them. Well, they never shipped, and finally, I think after 2 weeks of pestering them, they shipped finally. You got the halves of the differential. And then all my bolts are laid out. As you can see, this is a mess. I recently picked up a parts truck for this motor, and then I'm going to rebuild this motor. That motor is going to go in the 95. So there'll be a whole series on that. Well, but first, what I need to do is I need to get this thing out of here. And to get that thing out of here, I got to rebuild the front diff. And then I got to move the 95 into this spot. I have a Corvette that's sitting outside, and that will probably take this spot. This bay right here, with the garage door going front to back, I have a lot more room for a cherry picker to take out the engine and whatnot. And then it helps me with, you can see my whole table here. This all get cleaned off. And then my bench over here, they'll get cleaned off. Other projects is this Dr. Pepper machine. And back out a little bit. And of course, storage right now. I do have the lights working. And then man, why is this thing sideways? But of course, it just doesn't want to cooperate. I have all the lights working. So this lights up, these light up. The sold out lights work. I'd like to get some new cards made for them. And of course, I'm not looking where I'm pointing. This does not work. The coin recognition, it doesn't work. I believe this is from the 80s, and it's a 6-can machine. 2 of the can vendors work. The other 4 don't even come on. I know you can get them on eBay, but they're fairly expensive. Another thing, the cooling system, the refrigeration system, it turns on, but it does not cool. So the compressor will turn on, and of course this is, I think it's R22, and R22 has become way expensive. So we're gonna get into it. We gotta put these bearings on. This differential here, we're gonna go over to the hydraulic press and press these on. Stay tuned for that. All right, so we're over here at the hydraulic press. I really need a freaking shop. It's tucked up against the wall because I don't use it a whole lot, but I'm back to back against my 95. But let's go ahead and see if we can't See if we can't get this together. I'm gonna have to raise this bed up. Nothing's light either. Everything's heavy. And I'm not saying I'm weak, but it's just annoying. Let's go up one, see where we're at. This is a Harbor Freight 12 ton. I freaking love this thing. I've used it so many times and I thought it didn't. And, you know, justifying the $200 purchase, well worth it. I've done so much stuff on this thing. Watch, I'm gonna be too high now. I can already see it. Yep. Too high. That's annoying. Okay, let's try this again. Oh. There we go. Brand new bearing. Get it seated just a little bit. I'm gonna try a block of wood first. If I need to go get something, I'll go get something. I don't like that. Hold on. This thing is great, but you have to set it up perfectly straight. Like, you can't just work. All right, let's try that. Oh, and another thing, I don't like how this, here, let's move the camera up. This bottle jack, nothing's really securing the bottle jack to this plate right here. And I want to drill some holes because this will move around. And then the only thing really is it's going up against that. I'd like to just have it stationary. Okay. There we go. We got some movement. Oh yeah. Nice and easy. I think I'm... I'm not all the way down yet, but it is flat. No, it needs to go all the way down. Alright, let's see if I can go find a socket that big. We'll see. Alright. I tell you what, this ball joint kit from Harbor Freight, I've used it for so many, well, obviously ball joints, but I've used it for so many things. And of course, Harbor Freight. That's on the outside. I want to go. Okay, we'll see if that'll work. Should. Okay. Put this down over here. We're only trying to go this little bit. I know it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but I'll show in a minute. No! It worked for a split second. I think it's too small. It's hitting like the main body of it. It's not. Hold on. We'll figure this out. There has to be something. Okay. This number 9 fits the inner race of the bearing perfect, and it doesn't hit the main body shaft. So let's put something like that. There we go. I think I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Yeah, that's perfect. Nice. We gotta go a little white. Oh, crap. Hold on. Trying to think here. I don't want to get the diff stuck in the tool. That's going to piss me off. Yeah, see, I almost got it stuck right there. Oh, I have a freaking better idea. Why don't I just do this? It's not sitting on the bearing. It's sitting on the body. It protrudes a little more. There we go. And this little white. Make sure there's no garbage. Alright. I swear, if I have to, can I just do this? Okay, I'll try that first. Oh yeah, it's going down. Perfect. Ooh, that makes me happy. Now we can actually start getting this truck back together. All right, I'm going to take you over to the bench. Okay, we're back. I have to get this stub shaft back in here. My last video, part 1, you just use a slide hammer puller, and I couldn't get on top of it from the like straight down. I had to get on it from the side and tug it up. and it just came right out. It wasn't hard at all. I know we're fighting that C-clip. Freaking amazing, because like the C-clip's like hanging way out. And it's not supposed to. Oh, look at that. Boom. And then I'm going to brake clean all of this. What I did find was a bunch of little tiny metal shavings in each of the gears, or the slats, or whatever you call this, the ring gear. Everything else looks fine. The spider gears on the inside, they look like brand new. The only thing was I could see the bearings were bad. My pinion in here looks great. We'll see, and then we need to drop it in there and fight the really hard snap rings. Snap rings are real easy. And I'm an aircraft mechanic. I know snap rings all day long, but it only helps if you have really good tools. I have some cheap, and these are snap-on too, but they're just small, and these are large and in charge. They take, a real force to open and close those. And I gotta remember where these go. I think they went somewhere in here. I think they went like that. We'll see. I have my phone for pictures. Okay. Give me a second. And this is why you take pictures. I found the snap ring, the washer, wherever it went, washer, and then the bearing. Or the race, then the bearing. Got myself. Okay, cool. I won't need that. Well, I will, but not the second. All right. Let's see if I can get this back in here. Hopefully. So I have a extendable battery on the bottom of this DJI, and it's supposed to obviously extend the battery life of the camera, but I turn it on and then it just turns off, and it's like a fully charged battery. Let's see if I can do this. See, and it says it's charging on the DJI, but in 5 seconds it'll turn off. Okay, I'll figure that out later. Now, yeah, that's correct, because this is the passenger side, and that's the driver side. All right, hold on. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, this was way easier, taking it apart and putting this back together. Oh gosh. Now it's top heavy. Okay, here, let me spin you around and I'll show you. Okay, right there. And then we need our big washers. Clean that off real quick. Okay, I got that side. This side keeps wanting to fall off. I thought that, oh yeah, gosh, I'm dumb. I was like, there should be a second washer, and I couldn't find it, and it was literally right in front of me on the other side. Okay, that goes like that. I don't know if it's a good idea to put the other half on and then do the snap rings. We'll find out. Well, there's only one way to freaking do it. I don't, you know what I mean? Here, let's mock it up, because there's only one snap ring. I think, no, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I had it. Okay, now I have to collapse that pretty long. Not pretty long, but what I did to remove it was I left that snap ring in, and I just took off this top half. I might just try to do that. I still need to shoot a bunch of brake clean in here. Okay. Half the freaking problem is I'm fighting gravity over here. And it's got to go in his little freaking hole. Hold on. I don't like where the... I want the top of the ring to be not on the case halves. Yeah, see, that's why I hate these. So I'm in on one side. I'll tell you what, this is a struggle. Maybe we need a few little tappy taps. Will you stay? No, no you won't. Alright, hold on. Oh. Okay, stay. I'm over here trying to film, and my phone's just going off. I have a parts truck outside, and I'm trying to sell parts. And everybody just wants to waste my time. It's real fun. Don't recommend it. It's actually pretty damn close. I needed to figure out this gimbal. Okay, see if you can focus. Okay, so it's in the groove on that side. And it's ever so off on that side. We'll get it. So I stopped recording for 2 seconds. And turns out you just need to hit it just a little bit harder. The snap ring's in the groove, so that's nice. God dang. We're gonna blast this with some brake clean and get it all cleaned out. I'm gonna take a Q-tip and I'm gonna go through each tooth on here and get rid of all this gunk. The teeth are fine. There's no damage at all to them, so something had to have been bad. Like something else. Because the teeth are fine, the pinion was fine. The bearing in the pinion looks brand new. So, alright, we're gonna clean this. Alright, I doused it down. I didn't want to get the camera wet. It's a very expensive camera. We're just going to wipe everything off. And I'm going to clean these teeth out. And then I got the RTV gasket maker sitting inside because it is, I think it's like 15 degrees outside right now, Fahrenheit. And I left it in the garage overnight. And so my RTV was, it was really cold. So I want this thing to spread real smooth and easy. So I just let it sit inside for a little bit. But now we can put the top half back on. I'm gonna get a few more Q-tips. And then I'll see you when I put the half back on. Alright, and we're back. I cleaned all the teeth. They're super nice and clean. We're gonna use this Permatex the right stuff, 1 minute return to service. I'm not going to fill this up with fluid until it's back in the truck, and that won't be for a little bit. Hopefully we can stand it up. And then put the man. I thought I had this, but I don't. Is there... Okay, it'll stay there for a second. There's a block of wood and lubricating oil, just so it doesn't get top heavy. Now watch it all fall off. Guarantee it will. Okay, we're gonna warm that up just a little bit. I need a knife. Or is it? We're gonna put some blue thread locker on the bolts. I did find the torque information. So we'll get the torque wrench out. We'll torque these down. Right now, I'm just going to seal it, Loctite the bolts, and then we'll go back and torque everything. Never mind. Pliers work just as good. Look at that. Okay. We have our other half. Oh, man. And then our assortment of bolts. Super fun. I have way too much crap in this garage, I'll tell you that. This is what I don't like. There's some crap on the... Okay. Should be fine. If I can get the cap off to the thing. Jeez. It'll also help if you read the directions on how to even get the gasket out of here. It says remove tab and cap from nozzle. Oh, and turn nozzle counterclockwise a quarter turn. There we go. We're in business now. Oh, here we go with the diff. All right, I'm just gonna have to hold it. That's great. This is actually really good stuff. Yeah, this is laying a nice continuous bead. Oh, yeah, this should work out great. Now, let's try to not ruin it. Okay. Oh, watch us run it. How about that? Okay, I don't think it... We're fighting this snap ring over here. Now. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, let's at least get a couple bolts in here. The snap ring is coming up at the top. Ooh, that was a lot. We don't need that much. A little bit goes a long way. Okay. There's a huge variety of short and long bolts. I know where the short ones go, but there's two different long ones. So I guess we'll just find out. I can't. It's been so long. It's been 3 weeks waiting on bearings. I'm damn near almost forgot how to put this back together. Yeah. Okay, those are all the small bolts. Are they at 12? Yes, they're at 12. All right. I'm not going full ugga-dugga on these things. I'm just running them down. Okay, nice and easy. Get our main ones in. I think after our main ones, we'll get the snap ring pliers, push those down. Oh, see that? That's way too big. There we go. Oh, okay. I'll show you here in a second. Your two long bolts go in this would be the passenger side, because that's where that tail shaft goes. In here, let's see if I can get the camera to do it. Yeah, this snap ring is not all the way down in its groove. That's why we're kind of up just a little bit on the case halves. Alright, and then you got a socket for those. Nope. Wrong. Wrong. What the hell? That was right. Yeah. No, I was wrong. What the hell? What's going on here? I bet you those are standard and not metric. Because why would they do that? Why would they do half metric and half standard? Yeah, see? 5/8, perfect. This is the real bad mamma jamma, Milwaukee impact. Again, not torquing. I've seen that happening. Okay. Put this down. That's not the side, that's this side. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a punch and just see if I can tap that in, because the other one's in. Let me get a punch real quick. Oh, and of course, the toolbox is on the other side of the garage. I'll have to do a little toolbox tour because it's a pretty big setup and I have just about every freaking tool there is. Is there any flat ones? Probably this one. Like, why is there not a big brass one? Hold on. Let me go get the right one. Much better. God, it's so close. I wonder. God, there's no good way of doing this. Trying to think. Okay, let's give that a shot. I might change my hammer. Can't tell. It's like super. It's so freaking close. I don't know if it's all the way in there or not. All right, give me a second to figure this out. Okay, I figured it out. What I had to do was loosen these case bolts, and I tapped it just to split it up just a little bit, and then took it to the side, just like this, grabbed it, and the doink, the snap ring went back in. Heavy. Now we can torque the bolts. So the website I found on the torque says These bolts are 81 foot-pounds. I feel like that should be true for the big ones. I might have to look up where the smaller ones. We'll see about that. And why 81? Why not like 80? That just doesn't make sense. Even in aircraft, we put it to a round number. This is great. Struggle. I'm going to put this on a vise somewhere. What the hell? I'm not even hitting 80. Here it goes. Let's get it most of the way there. What I am doing, this sealer that came out, it's going all over my jacket. So this jacket just became a shop jacket. But that's fine because I got this from Sam's. I love it, but one of the buttons over here popped on this right arm, so it's just been, loosey. All right, I might have to take this to the floor. Hold on. All right. I got that torqued. That was a lot of work. I freaking deadlift this thing. We're just knocking over crap. It's cool. Another thing we do, I want to get that out of there before anything. Okay, got it. I'm going to put this on when it's in the truck. It makes installing this in the truck a hell of a lot easier. And this can go in and out, no problem, when it's up in there. It's super easy. I think the next thing we do is our seals. Those will go in the sides. I'm going to have to probably press them in with the press. I'll catch up with you momentarily. All right, well, I have the differential rebuilt now. I'm going to let that sealant cure for a little while. I'm not just going to put it in there and put fluid in it. I'll show you what I had to do. I had to put this seal in, tap that in, that's nice. All of these are torqued again. I'll show you the mounting. So this is the driver's side, and this is the passenger side. You have 2 bolts here and here. Your oil pan sits like an inch above it. So these are really hard. I had to basically sit in front of the radiator and use a small ratchet to get this one out. This one I had to go underneath the truck and behind the motor to get this one. It was a pain in the butt. A really long, let's see if I got it. It should be around here. Yeah. This is like a 12-inch ratchet, 3/8 drive. That is what got this it would probably help on this one too. You have your 3 other mounts right here. I think these 2 attach to the engine mount, and then you got your side shaft. So this bottom will go into here, 4 bolts. And then these are the easiest ones. They're right in front of your face by the steering rack. I have electric steering, so that's kind of more in the way, but you can still get to them if you have rack and pinion or electric. And then I have a slew of mount bolts over there, and then a big mess to clean up. So I think this video is going to be pretty long, so I'm just going to end it there. Probably won't show you me putting it in. I'm just going to put it on a jack and lift it up and put a few bolts in, and it's really that it's hard, but it's easy. Knowing what I know now, this will go in pretty fast. So it did take a while for me to figure out the right combination of ratchets and sockets and stuff like that, and extensions, and I think once you figure that out, it's a cakewalk. But thank you guys for watching. Hope this helps somebody. And again, I'm still learning on the camera. I'd like to get like a POV camera. DJI makes one, and it's kind of some money, so I'm gonna save up for that. And of course, I got projects on projects here. So my latest adventure is the 60 LS I got, and to get it, I'm gonna pull you outside. This is what I had to do. It's freaking cold outside. I bought this from my neighbor because he got a brand new truck, and I basically just gutted it. I gutted the entire core support. And again, I'm a one-man operation here, so help is limited. I do have my significant other, but she likes to stay inside. No fault to her. So taking the core support out was the easiest option to go. That is a 4L80 automatic. I don't know. I'm not going to use that. I want to keep the manual that's in my 95. What I'd like to figure out is if I can use the suspension off of this truck. So this is a 1500 HD, and so it has the heavy duty frame and the heavy duty axle. So, and then you can see my slew of parts from it. And I'm also selling some parts on Facebook. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next project.